Hey, welcome to the Bitcoin Bull. Today we're going to see what Bitcoin should be doing. Should it go up? Should it go down? We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at some news. We have here JPMorgan talking about Bitcoin again. Bitcoin short-term setup is challenging. JPMorgan strategist warns. And also Bitcoin bounces off $30,000. Aim possibly of exit to mid 40,000 range. So that's some good news. And then key Bitcoin price indicator flashes its fifth buy signal in Bitcoin history. And there's some interesting charts here we'll be looking at on these two, on this news here, another chart. So we'll look at those charts, look at this news, and then we'll end the video taking a look at what Bitcoin should be doing in the next several days, weeks, and months from now. So let's go ahead and get started. Before that, if you like this video, if you like this content, give me a like. This is a new channel. That would really help me out. If you do that, I'd really appreciate that. And also hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any important Bitcoin information. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Here we have Bitcoin. It was in this bearish channel here. It was actually in this bearish channel. Let's go ahead and remove these lines. It already broke out of this channel, which is good. So we can remove these lines. Let's clean this up here. And so now we have Bitcoin breaking this bearish resistance line here. It just broke it a couple of hours ago. So that's very good. That's a very good sign. This is the hour chart. Here, let's blow this up in case you're looking at this on your phone. It'll be bigger, easier to see. And so now today, well, there's several possible scenarios. It could either, Bitcoin will most likely be in this range here between this bearish resistance line and this orange resistance line here. So Bitcoin should be in here today. But if it breaks this resistance line, then Bitcoin could start going down again all the way down to here and enter into this triangle shape until it finally breaks out. However, I think it's more likely, and we'll see why when we look at the news, what's going on with Bitcoin lately. It's more likely to hit this resistance line here today. Well, if not today, then tomorrow, but very soon. Bitcoin should be hitting this resistance, and once it hits that, it will very likely make a big bullish run. However, it could also, once it hits here, it could take a small pullback all the way to here, because we have this slight resistance line here. So it could make a pullback. Once it hits resistance, it could make a pullback here before it goes up. But basically, Bitcoin looks bullish again. Here, I'll put in some resistance lines so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see here with this short-term bullish line here, more or less. And now let's put in another one to make the floor. Let's go here. All right, so as you can see, Bitcoin for the past couple of days, it's looking bullish again. Looks like it's wanting to break this whole bearish run. And it looks like it hit a double floor. We have here and here, hit bottom twice, which is a sign that Bitcoin should be going back up again and going back on that bullish run. And here it's entering into this channel, this upward bullish channel. So most likely Bitcoin should hit this resistance line and then start working its way up. That's the most probable scenario today, tomorrow, the next couple of days of what Bitcoin should be doing. Should be once it hits this resistance line, which is a pretty important resistance line, it should start working its way up. Let's check out some news so you can see why I think Bitcoin should be continuing going up. So we have, well, this is bad news actually, but you have to understand that JPMorgan tries to talk bad about Bitcoin as much as they can. They're saying Bitcoin and the crypto market are at the beginning of a healing process, JPMorgan analysts say. But whenever you see news about JPMorgan, you have to understand this, that their business is selling stocks to their clients, and they don't want their clients leaving JPMorgan buying Bitcoin. They want their clients to stay with JPMorgan buying their stocks, buying all their funds. So that's part of the reason why the main reason they talk bad about Bitcoin. So yeah, this is bad news about Bitcoin, saying that, Bitcoin short term is looking challenging. But you have to understand that they are always negative about Bitcoin. So I'm saying Bitcoin bounces off 30K and the possibility of exit to mid 40 range. And I'll see some good news. We have Bitcoin bounces off 30,000 with possibly hitting the 40,000 range. Okay, a successful Wyckoff accumulation could see Bitcoin price action target levels north of $40,000 again, one analyst says, which I totally agree. I think Bitcoin, here's 40,000. I think once we break here, which we should today or tomorrow or the next day, this resistance, we working our way up, more or less. And once we hit 40K, which I think during July, we should be working our way up to 40,000. That will be the target. The target to end this month would be to break this resistance here, 35,500. That's the goal to end this month. And then for July, the goal is to hit 40,000 and break it. So here we have them saying the same thing, 40,000. That's the next goal. And here we have a chart. So here we have where Bitcoin is right now. Okay, and we're already starting to work our way up. Here we have a tweet from Crypto Ed NL. Can't we all agree to dump Bitcoin and nuke it to 26,000 over the weekend to start on Monday the next bull run with V-shaped recovery? Yeah, if Bitcoin drops down to 36,000, I'm sure it would take a big bull run, but I wouldn't like to see Bitcoin hit 26,000 because that would really scare a lot of people and hurt Bitcoin a lot. But let's check out some graphs, some charts here. So you can see this chart. Here's the bearish, what Bitcoin has been doing the last month. It's been bearish, going down, but now we're up here. You can see. Let's look at the daily chart. You can see here it's the bearish. Sorry. See, we're on here's the bearish movement. Zoom in a little bit. And we're about to reach the top of it. So we're up here now, about to break it, to work our way back up to that 40,000, hit that 40,000 again. So it's volatile. Bitcoin is still very volatile right now, but it should start trending up. And like we saw yesterday, the Bitcoin will go all the way to 160,000 this year. That's what the CEO of Celsius says. which we looked at yesterday. And also, this is very important. A lot of people are worried right now because Bitcoin is really low. It's on the ground and it's still in this bearish, short-term bearish trend. But we have to zoom out and we can see here on this Bitcoin chart by Plan B that if you look at, if you zoom out and you look at the long term, what Bitcoin has been doing, this is 2013, 2014, all the way up to 2021. You see that it's always going up. The black line here, the trend is always going up, the gray one too. And then we have the Bitcoin price here, which spikes up and it takes a big drop from 1,000. It drops down to like 200, and then from 200 it goes all the way up to 10,000, and then it makes a big drop, and then it makes another big rise. Now we're in 35. It was up to 65,000 almost, and now we're at 35,000. And even if Bitcoin drops, imagine this black line continuing up to here. Even if Bitcoin drops a little more, it would end up hitting this black or this gray line like here and like here. But it doesn't matter. In the short term, if that happens, that would probably make you very nervous. But when you look at the big picture, you can see that when that happens, Bitcoin ends up skyrocketing after that. So even if Bitcoin drops even farther, just as it happens in the past, just like it happened in the past, Bitcoin will recover and it'll skyrocket and it'll be off the chart. It'll be, here's 100,000. It'll be, if we follow this same pattern right here, we'll be in well over 100,000 in a year from now. So most likely it's not going to drop any farther, but if it does, just hold on to your Bitcoin, just wait it out, and in several months it'll start recovering and will be 100,000 plus in no time. Just have to be patient. So I'm saying that in case Bitcoin drops even farther, just remember, see the big picture, that Bitcoin is bullish in the mid to long term. So if it drops during the next several days, weeks from now, months from now, just patience and it will recover, just like it always has. So I wanted to mention that. And then we have this also. We have key Bitcoin price indicator flashes its fifth buy signal in Bitcoin history. The Puel multiple just flashed a big signal for the fifth time in Bitcoin's history, but its creator cautions that a plunging hash rate and China's miner purge are important factors to consider. Yeah, the whole China thing. By the way, the media, they're talking about, how China is prohibiting Bitcoin mining, and they're making it seem like it's bad news. But I don't see it as bad news, because if the miners leave China, that means that the Bitcoin mining won't be so centralized, because the majority miners are in China. So if they have to leave and they have to spread out throughout the world, that means the Bitcoin miners will be less centralized. So that way China won't be able to talk bad about Bitcoin anymore, because if they don't have any miners there, then they can talk all they want about Bitcoin and won't affect the price of Bitcoin, because China won't have anything to do with Bitcoin anymore. So I see it as good news. Just right now, all the miners having to relocate, which they're doing less mining, obviously. So the short term, it's not very good, but in the long term, it's better, in my opinion. So let's see these key signals. We have the cryptocurrency market found itself in a state of cautious optimism on June 28th, after Bitcoin price briefly spiked above 35,000, renewing hopes that the bull trend will resume shortly. Yeah, that's what I think, the same thing. Despite the bullish move, some analysts have warned that the failure to secure a daily close above 35,000 resistance is a signal that traders are simply closing positions at each breakout to resistance, a hint that further downside could be in store. So that's what I'm saying. It's important that we break this resistance line here. Working our way up. Well, it looks like it's already, Bitcoin is already starting to go down as we're talking, but it's important that we hit this resistance and break it, because if we fall back down into this triangle bearish shape channel cone, then Bitcoin might drop even farther. It might do something like this, which I mentioned before, which we might be doing something like this, go down even farther before reaching the tip of the triangle and then breaking. So hopefully we won't get back into this area here, and hopefully we will break this resistance and go ahead and start moving up, because Bitcoin has been on the floor for a long time now, and it would be good if we can get out of the situation ASAP and start getting bullish again. So here we have a tweet from David Puel that Bitcoin getting reports that the most awesomely named indicator just gave its 5th buy signal in Bitcoin history. Looking good, yes, but remember that the pool multiplier reacts to hash rate movements too, and hash rate flows price, not the other way around. So here we have a chart. You can see here, let's make this bigger. So this blue line here, this is the Bitcoin price, okay, over the years from 2012 all the way to 2021. We're right here. Here's where we hit 65,000 almost, and now we drop down 35,000. And this is this red, this is the hash rate. So you see, compared to the price of Bitcoin in several years ago, the hash rate was higher than the Bitcoin price. And every time there was so the hash rate follows the Bitcoin price. Every time the Bitcoin went up, the hash rate went up. See here, Bitcoin went up, hash rate went up, and then Bitcoin dropped and hash rate dropped. Here again, Bitcoin up, hash rate up, and then it crashed. Up and then down. Bitcoin went up, hash rate went up, Bitcoin went down, hash rate went down. Same thing here. We were up here, big bull run here, which we had at the end of 2020. Hash rate went up, and now Bitcoin did a big dump this year. So, and hash rate also. And you can see the hash rate, when it's in this blue box here, that's the lowest it gets. And right now, the hash rate is at the lowest it gets. It's inside this blue box here. And when it's inside the red, that's the maximums. So here's another indicator that Bitcoin shouldn't be going any lower, because the hash rate is at its lowest. It's inside this blue box here. So another indicator that Bitcoin shouldn't go any lower than it is right now. And then we have the miner purge leads to a historic drop in mining difficulty. So here we have, you see, as Bitcoin prices go up, here's the mining hashes, the hash rate, and you can see that it did another drop. So Bitcoin goes up, makes it drop, now we did another drop. And here we have the mean Bitcoin hash rate versus price. So here we have Bitcoin price again, the gray line, and then we have the hash rate. We have the mean hash rate. The same thing. Did a big drop. The hash rate did a big drop. So it's an indicator that that Bitcoin is probably at the lowest point it could be. And so now let's take a look at Bitcoin at the daily chart, seeing what it should be doing during the next several days and weeks from now. So here we have, like we just saw, we have Bitcoin hanging out, touching this resistance line here, and we have to see what happens today. Today is an important day. If Bitcoin ends up right here, then and it doesn't move from here today, right on this resistance line here, on this bearish downward resistance line, that means tomorrow we'll see if it either goes up or down. If today, if this candle, if Bitcoin closes below this resistance line here, if it closes below this, then that means most likely Bitcoin will be in this triangle here, and we'll be doing this for the next several days, several weeks. Going down, freaking everyone out when it hits here, and then we'll start to recover. Hopefully, we will be in this area here. Well, not that long. It'll probably be more like this. We'll be in here until we break this resistance. Once we break this resistance, then we'll be doing something like this. Hit this next resistance, make a slight pullback, working our way up to this resistance, hitting this support. And then once we hit 40,000, hopefully it will break. Most likely it'll take another pullback before then breaking it. This is what we should be looking at for July. This is what we should be looking at in July. So to have an idea here, we have, let's see, I wanted to show a graph here, projection. So we're looking at something like this, what Bitcoin should be doing the next several weeks from now. Most likely, we should be in here. Most likely. However, it all depends on what happens today and tomorrow. If Bitcoin, if it's able to break the blue resistance line, or if it breaks above or it breaks under. If it breaks above, we'll be looking at this and being inside this range. If it goes under the resistance, then we'll be looking at something more like this. So tomorrow is an important day because of this resistance line, this blue resistance line. So we'll be on a close look, see what happens. Looks like it's already starting to recover a little bit again, Bitcoin. So yeah, we'll be on a quick lookout, and if something changes later on, I will make another video. If not, see you tomorrow on the next video. Thanks for watching.